Hi, I'm Ron Wentworth with Seacoast Residential Design, and I was talking with a fellow chief user, Tim Schrock, on Design Build Solutions, and we were talking about one of the new features of X15, which is the pattern generator. But we were also talking a little bit about a feature built around that, and I'm going to show a little bit of something else you can do with the new pattern generator. So I'm working on this project for a client. This is an existing conditions model I'm building right now, and the walkway I wanted to try and match as closely as I could to what they have. But I also wanted to paint in this fill style. This does not exist in the library, or something that matches what I was using for a material. So I'm going to show a little bit of what I did here and walk through the steps. So over in the core catalog, on the materials, in this case I found the flagstone, which is I believe under masonry and stone, pavers, flagstone. I believe I used flagstone paver 3. And so I'm going to paint that onto my walkway here. And we're going to start clean from this file. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use the Adjust Material Definition tool right here. I have a little rainbow icon. And I'm going to click that, and that's going to bring up the material dialog box here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten this up. I'm going to go to my texture panel, and I'm going to click Blend with Texture, and I want to do something maybe a little darker. Do something like that. Okay. Then I'm going to go to Pattern, and I can do a pattern from Texture. Obviously this one in the library, but I'm going to do this just for an example. And it says it can't find a certain map, so I'm going to just use the texture map as my tool to create this from. I'm going to slide this, and sometimes you have to go to this advanced button and you can get a little bit more control, but for this I think this is fine. It looks pretty good. A little more like that. I'm going to say that looks good. So I'm going to click OK. And then what I want to do is I want to save this to my library. When I click this button, it's going to save it to my user library. You can't edit directly any of the core, bonus, or manufacturer libraries in Chief Architect. You always have to save it off to the library, whether it's through a dialog like this where they give us the ability to do this, or you can copy directly from here and send it to your user library. Then you can make your edits to it that you want. So I'm going to click Add to Library. And it's just going to take a minute to do that. I'm going to click OK. And you're going to see that it added it right here. This is my new texture. And of course, I've got some duplicates now. But the next step to create the pattern that I can save in my library that I can paint as a fill is I can go here, because even though the fill is the pattern is in this texture, it's not going to show up in the plan view the way that we want. So we have to go here and we have to save the pattern off to the library, because we're going to add that as a fill to this walkway in plan view. Really what creates in the texture that pattern, what that's for is when we go to vector view on this, you'll see this all in the vector view as those lines, but we cannot paint it as a fill because it's embedded in that texture. So if we click Edit Pattern, it's now going to open in the new pattern window where you can create patterns, but you can also edit patterns. And I know Tim showed one of the things I had mentioned where you can drag an image into this and then you can trace over it. Well, this is another option where you can take it, create it from an image, bring it into here. Now I can clean this up if I want to, some of these missing lines. I'm not going to do that for this video, but just to show you, there's this little tool right here. I added the toolbar buttons for the pattern window so that they're all right here rather than over here in my child palette. I put them all easily reachable. So I customized my toolbars and put them all up here. So there's this one right here with the little pattern, the plus, and the little book, and that's to add it to the library. So when I click this, I can name it whatever I want. I'm just going to leave it this name, and you're going to see that it added it right here in my library. And obviously you'll want to put these in folders to better organize them, but now I can actually close out of this pattern window because it's in my library. I'll click Save. And what I'm going to do is go back to Plan View. And I can take this pattern and I can now paint it into there. And you'll see that that changed. And it's because I already painted a fill in there, and that's why one existed. Then what I can do is I can open this up and I can do what I did on the last one. I'm going to go to the fill style. So there it is. There's the pattern we created. And I can actually lighten that up if I want to. I don't want that to be as prominent as I have it here. A little bit lighter. So there you go. That's how you can take a texture, something from your library, whether it's your own library or one of Chief's libraries, and modify the texture or create a pattern from a texture that you like that you can paint as a fill and plan view to use. In addition to what you'd see in the vector view, camera views, this is a way that you can achieve that and save that off into your library. So I hope you liked what I showed here, and thank you for watching.